Welcome back to the Win with Dice podcast, a podcast featuring members of the Win with Dice team. I'm Calvin, and I'm joined here by Ramon.
Hey guys, hope you're having a good day.
I'm having a really good day. We're just fresh off another Minds of Phandelver session that our friend Tim is running.
Yeah.
So I was really excited to get to play some time in that.
Yeah, we've got a full house.
We
a good session.
Yeah, we did. We keep getting split up in that, but we've got like a fairly decently sized party, so it's not too huge a deal, but we are always like, I feel like we're splitting up a lot in that game.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, I had my character, at least my team did really well. Not so well for your character.
No, not right at the end there.
A little hairy.
Did get a little
Yeah.
a little desperate, but we might have to put that recap in another episode. But this podcast here that you're listening to right now, it's a tabletop RPG podcast where we talk about tabletop RPG games, running them, playing them, and our experiences with them, just to hopefully make it a little easier for people to hop on the other side of the screen and start running their own games. We've done a lot of Lancer stuff recently, so we might be doing some Pathfinder stuff today. Gonna do some recaps of some sessions that I've been running the past few weeks. Kind of like with that group, we've settled into like a regular schedule now. I was looking at some notes and stuff, and I saw that we had like our 4th session or whatever in 2018, and then I was planning like the 21st session.
Wow, that's more than I think all of my campaigns actually. You've been like crushing it out. That's awesome, man. I feel like, yeah, my campaigns never get that high because I feel like I'm always running 5 at the same time. So it's like every weekend it's like, oh yeah, here's this game I have to prepare for, and it's never the one from last week.
I get that. I did kind of feel that a bit when I was doing Quest of the Fateseer as well, although I'm kind of nostalgic for it now. I kind of miss those characters. So yeah, I've got like 3 sessions here that I want to recap. Really excited to get into them because a lot of stuff happened in them. But before we get to anything in the show, we have to do the most important part. Bring on the theme song, because it's time for the Win with Dice weekly GM tip of the week.
Yes. The greatest time on the podcast.
So this is where we just, drop some useful knowledge, hopefully. So Ramon, what do you have for the people out there?
All right. Okay. So, as you're living your DM life and you're going through it and everything's all good and you had like a crazy idea and you're like, you know what, my players are going to love this and it's going to work out. And guess what? Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes everyone's dead. Sometimes no one has fun. And sometimes you just don't have fun. Or maybe you just fell into one of your many plot holes that you've never filled in yet. Mm-hmm. And now you're scrambling to figure it out. Well, don't worry. Honestly, it has nothing to do with you. If you're a first-time DM, even if you're an experienced DM, these things just happen. A lot of times you put something in front of the players that you've never ran before, right? It's basically alpha, right? It's like there's no way for you to actually know how it's going to play out. So the advice for this week is to take a step back. Your players probably had an okay time or like had fun, and you're just kind of in your own head about it. But just take a step back, calm, and just collect yourself for the next session. Because like honestly, sometimes when I tend to break the game, like quite often, I'll just start throwing stuff in there that obviously is not vanilla from the box, and sometimes like stuff breaks. And I'm like, ooh, that was a bad idea. But you just take that, you bank that, and then you just try again. So yeah, that's my tip of the week. Just keep on trying till it works out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And just that you mentioned that in passing, like just you feel like something doesn't work out, but it's probably just you just getting wrapped up in your own thoughts and in your own head. Like your players are, from my experience at least, everything I've played in and run, everything, it's always like I'm still having fun, and sometimes when I feel nervous about something as a GM, it's always like, well, the players keep wanting to come back, and if I did something so incredibly terrible, they wouldn't want to keep playing this game. So
exactly right.
You know, just try to hold on to the positives as you're working on improving the negatives.
Yeah. Plus, that's the power of retconning too.
Also, that yes.
Yeah.
Look, if you gotta be straight up with your players and be like, look, that no one wants this. Let's just change it.
Yeah, nobody wants this. Please, let's just all just reverse time and say that was in the parallel universe. That's like the bad universe. This is the good one where things are right and everything's happening. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, shit, Calvin, I'm excited to hear about your Crown of Dragons game. It's like my Game of Thrones. I want to know what everyone's up to.
That is high praise, but I will take it. So yes, the Crown of Dragons. This has been my regular campaign that I've been running this year. We're scheduled every 2 weeks at this point, which is really cool, and it's nice to have a regular thing to come back to. Although there is a lot of last minute prep for me, and we're switching virtual tabletops now, so oh boy, that's gonna be a lot of work. Yeah.
What are you switching to?
Foundry, which one of my players started using.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's not free like Roll20, so we did have to pay for it. But it seemed a lot easier to set up a character in there because it seemed like more of like a drag and drop kind of thing.
Okay, cool.
Put your spells on instead of having to type them out manually and stuff like that. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I gotta get my hand on that. I gotta get actually to do something with it because I didn't really do much with it because I was kind of doing other stuff this weekend.
Yeah.
And I gotta set up my custom boss monster that I made. So. But yeah, let me describe how we got to that point. So, last time I talked about the Crown of Dragons campaign, I was recapping session 18, wherein the players were just doing some, recovery after a mission. They were doing some shopping, and one particular shop owner, this elven woman at a magic shop called the Tilted Tiara, because I love my alliterative names. Once she heard that the druid in our party did primal magic, she sort of like referred to it as like dirt magic because it was like natural nature magic.
Right.
One thing led to another, and the druid tried to steal a wand from the store. Unfortunately, she was not able to get away from the town guards, and eventually was given a choice: either pay the court a fine, go to jail, or assist in the recovery of a dangerous criminal mastermind. And I had explained, I think, when I was doing this recap, that this was sort of like flying by the seat of my pants kind of thing. Right. Like, the character I had sent them after, that was something that I had set up before that didn't end up getting used, so I just had to, like, rework it. Which was fine, because I think what I'm doing with them now is a lot more interesting than just what I had planned for them before, which was like a very minor scene. But at the same time, like, as I was doing stuff with them, I was also like, because that session ended with them heading into like a different part of the city where they would get some info, but they were ambushed by a bunch of bandits and stuff. So I'm setting up the map for that as I'm like playing and everything. And it's a very stressful situation to do that. But it all worked out. And the session ended with them having a few guys unconscious. So session 19, we started up with just doing some looting and doing some interrogation. They did have a town guard with them. I think I described her as a half-human, half-dwarf. This town guard with them who was just keeping an eye on them to make sure they were doing what they were supposed to be doing, who had gone, like, after they had wrapped up there and captured all the criminals, the town guard had gone to summon more other guards to like, take those criminals to jail and do some proper interrogations and stuff like that. So they had a brief moment alone with this one person who gave them some information about where to find the criminal mastermind, Walter One-Eye.
Oh my gosh. Walter One-Eye?
Yeah, which was basically me taking the criminal, like the mastermind NPC template, and then putting an eye patch on it.
Walter One Eye.
That was his token. So hopefully I use that more because I spent too much time on that.
Okay, cool. I love it. I love it. It's just like eye patch. He's
Exactly.
10 times cooler now.
Well, how else will you know he's a criminal unless he's wearing an eye patch?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So they went to confront Walter. Essentially, what this situation was that he had like a base in a cave outside the city, and it was across a river, and there was like a single rickety bridge to get there. So he was kind of holed up pretty well. So the battle, like, it kind of started off with them like trying to get across the bridge. They were being blocked by bandits. They had to deal with the flowing water of the river and everything. Walter himself was wielding. So I took this concept from a webcomic that I saw, the Stabicus, which is like a sword with an abacus in it.
The Stabicus. Oh my gosh! It is breathed into existence. The Stabicus. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
I want it.
You can have it. I made stats for it. Although it's kind of like a first draft. I'm kind of debating going back and changing a few things because it's essentially a sword, but it uses int instead of strength. So for like attack and damage, it uses int instead of strength, and it has an ability where it just like forces mathematical power into any wound, and then burns the target's brain, so they take some extra damage.
Oh, okay. So I guess then they do like I forget what the psychic damage is. Mental damage, I think it is. That's the damage type.
Yeah, it's like
I
think there's a psychic damage. I probably should have written that on the item card, so I guess I do have to make another draft of it.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, cool. So you stab somebody, but it's really just you stabbing them with so much math that they're like, 2 + 2 is 5, and then you're like,
Essentially, yes. You just blast their brain with math, blind them with science. So that was a cool sword. I got to use that ability a couple of times, but once the party was able to make their way across the bridge, being fairly cautious because they were able to notice that if they put too much people on the bridge, it would likely collapse. But once they were all on the other side, they kind of had Walter cornered. He did turn invisible, which, I thought I don't know. My criminal masterminds, their escape plans never work. Last time there was, what's her name in our...
You're always too late with them.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
it's because you always pull them too late. Like, you have to, like, if the PCs are like halfway there, then you're like, now it's time to eject. But like 3/4, 4/5, like, you're gonna get caught, man. Like,
I guess so.
You gotta know when it's going south and just boot out of there, man.
Yeah, what's her name? Alina. Because again, like she was gonna get away by just casting a darkness spell and leaving, but I guess that didn't really work out for her. So I don't know. I need to get better at that. I'm so like caught up in the idea of a last minute dastardly escape that it just doesn't work out.
There's a cloak. It might be in Pathfinder too, but I remember being in Pathfinder one. It's called Cloak of the Montbank, and like you basically do like the flourish whip of a cloak, and it casts I think it was Dimension Door is the spell. So like you could just as in like foop, and then just like in a puff of smoke you just disappear. Like that's always like you gotta get some teleportation in there. So there's literally just like barely anything to pick.
Okay, well that's a thing to look up for later. That'll definitely fit on one of these flashy criminals. I
know. Have him be a mask. You should have like a mass vigilante that no one could catch because he keeps teleporting away.
Well, no. I will say there's a character who hasn't been introduced yet, who I just created, who I thought was fun and put in a place that might actually get a chance to use that then. I don't want to say too much.
My rogue used it. Yeah, no, my Pathfinder playthrough of Shattered Star, I think is the one with the drow from Pathfinder 1, like that. He used Cloak of the Montbank anytime you need to like get the heck out of dodge. So it's definitely effective for criminals. I gotta say.
Yeah, that is.
He was definitely a criminal.
I feel like Pathfinder 1 has a lot of leftover really cool magic items that I might want to convert over, just because it's been around for so long.
Yeah. True. Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure the Pasion's doing it as well whenever because they have to release all their books. Right?
Oh yeah,
so
they got
you know, a few things that were
Secrets
missing
of
out.
Magic, I think it's called, coming out later this year, which is supposedly has like 100 new spells and a whole lot of new items and stuff. So excited for
100
that.
is a lot of spells, but I guess there's a lot of spellcaster classes now too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's
Damn,
new class
man,
stuff in
Pathfinder.
it too. I'm looking forward more to that that
Pathfinder's...
steampunk book, Gears and Gadgets or whatever it's called.
Ooh, yeah, because it has the gunslinger in it, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the one that's coming in on. Oh yeah, gunslinger, and then the inventor or whatever it's called, but it's like basically the artificer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like several NTCs that I have that would be perfect for that, but I need the... Well, I think the playtest is out, so maybe I'll just pick up that.
Sure,
but,
yeah.
But anyway, so they were, of course, able to corner Walter despite his invisibility. He got on the... I think it was a bit of an unlucky flaming sphere situation.
Oh no.
So they were looting the place, and they found a few things. One thing they found is Walter was carrying a wand on him, and when they picked it up, like, it didn't look like a normal wand. So they just tried waving it to see what would happen, and they heard like this roaring sound from inside the nearby cave. And when they got there, what they saw was a big old Cyclops. So my original plan was to have Walter fall back to the cave. There was traps in the cave, and there was a big Cyclops there, and the Cyclops was going to be forced to fight them. But of course, they got Walter before all that happened. So this ended up being more of like a rescue situation, which again feels much more interesting because the cave was also full of brown mold, which is it's attracted to any source of heat. It'll like, I think it snuffs out fire and stuff, and it also causes cold damage if you get too close to it. So our party fighter, like a badass, runs in there and helps get the Cyclops out, and like they threw a torch into the cave to light it up. So he ran in there, he grabbed the torch and ran back out with it, sort of like drawing the brown mold towards him as he ran out of the cave, and then creating like a bit of an opening for the Cyclops to get through. It took some convincing, but they managed to get the Cyclops out. So yeah, like the reason I had a Cyclops was because, I don't know, I thought it'd be a cool addition for a criminal called Walter One-Eye.
Because he has a Cyclops. Oh my god, Calvin.
I mean, it seemed perfect. But like at first it was just gonna be like a minion he had, but then I found out as I was reading the bestiary that Cyclopses apparently have some sort of like divination abilities. So my thinking was like, oh, he uses the Cyclops' divination ability to commit his crimes. He uses like some basic future sight kind of stuff to learn like what he should do to like do a certain thing or whatever. So that was my whole plan for Walter One-Eye, which kind of just happened because I saw because I thought he should have a Cyclops as a minion.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I would.
It seemed to make the most sense. So they released the Cyclops, and the Cyclops is now just living in the forest south of this town. So
I guess that'll be okay.
Well, I know where he is now.
There's just some poor farmer not knowing what's going on. The Cyclops just walks by. He's like, "Oh no!"
Of all the things.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did really well there. They freed that Cyclops. But another thing they found, well, actually there was two other things in that session that I had to squeeze in towards the end. What they were originally looking for, the crime that Walter One-Eye had most recently committed, was this heist where he stole this golden glowing box that was supposed to be used as a power source for some sort of new invention that the inventor called an automaton. Like they were just like looking for that box, but they didn't find it. But they did find one of a similar size that was sort of like a dull gray metal, like an iron box, but it wasn't the same as the golden glowing one they were supposed to find. That could have powered this this robot that they were now just hearing about. Also, what happened in that session, I think I've explained this before, but one character one of the newer characters who is playing a witch, has been getting messages from a mysterious source. She has a familiar that's a fox. So there was one point where the fox was just acting real weird after she had a weird dream, and then the fox just like vomited up a rolled up piece of parchment with a note on it. And then in this session, she got another one.
Bleh.
Which I don't want to spoil what they are, but they're just, you know, they're important messages that hopefully she's paying attention to.
I mean, a fox had to throw it up, so they hope they're important, not just like, sup. Like,
yeah, no, that entity is, because I don't know if I talked about this too, but like, I don't know. I just really like playing in this space, this witch space, which is sort of like a 5e warlock, I guess.
yeah.
I don't know. I wish someone was also playing a cleric, because I would love to toy with that as well. Just this otherworldly, all-powerful entity floating just outside the periphery of your vision.
Yeah,
it's giving you power, but it's gonna want something in return.
Yeah, it's like a fire cleric, and the cleric just looks like he's like, I gotta call my god, and just like lights up a candle. It's just like, what do you need me to do? And he's like staring at it. It's like, tell me.
Burn stuff.
It goes out, and it's like, no. where it's just like, I would love a cleric that's like, you know, just like random stuff, and like they can't tell if it's like a message from their god or if it's just like a circumstance thing.
That would be so stressful. Well, I know what my next character is gonna be. I've been really, really feeling the itch to play a cleric myself. But yeah, that's where that session ended. And then we go on to session 20, which, I don't know, I kind of wish my sessions had titles now, but that's neither here nor there. So session 20, a lot of traveling mostly. So while they were in this region, one thing they had to do was to hit up the local academy to get some notes on dragons, as well as analyzing a substance they found way back in session, I don't know, 3 or 4 or whatever. Or God. 2 possibly.
Oh my god.
Way back
damn
in the
sewer notes.
Lost year of 2018.
With those damn sewer notes. Oh my god. How does anyone able to get anything done with all these sewer notes everywhere?
They gotta collect them all. But yeah, so they were getting some analysis done on this thing that was infecting a town at some point. So, you know, they just got up, they recovered from their rest and everything. I did have a fun moment where, because I like to roll some random events sometimes, and they came across some children just like play fighting, but one of them wasn't doing very well. But they decided to move on from it at that point, although they did come back to it and had a pretty sweet moment. So yeah, they went over to the academy, and again, something I've mentioned before, but it was like a month ago. So there was this one character I had called Lady Vermez, who sort of teaches alchemy at this prestigious Dromarth's Academy for the Arcane, or whatever I called this thing. So like way back in 2018, I saw this cool image, and I thought, this is a cool character, I'm gonna rip this off. But then, like, when I actually, now that I've finally gotten to where this character is, because it took so long to finally get there, I just wasn't feeling the idea as much. But I decided to go ahead with it, and it turned out pretty well. So Lady Vermez was acting really weird. She was hidden up in her room, and there was some sort of like strange bulky shadow inside of there. So what they did is they went to find the headmaster, whose life they saved a few days ago. They stormed into her office, and they discovered that Lady Vermez was actually concealing her true form, and then she revealed it to them as being like this half-elven, half-scorpion creature. So,
what?
Like, top half normal elven woman, legs
Return
down.
of the Mummy 2? Like...
Basically, yeah. They made the same reference.
Okay, so why is she a scorpion lady?
So their story was that because her family line was tied to this ancient lich wizard that used to rule the entire region until he was defeated.
Okay.
And he had put some curse on their bloodline. So her entire family was like this, but they had all ended up like destroying each other because they went mad with scorpionitis.
Scorpionitis. Okay.
So she was the last survivor, and she's just traveling, and she ended up at the academy because it was a place where she could very easily get all the ingredients she needed for the polymorphing potion to keep herself looking normal.
Ah, I see. Okay.
And that was largely the concept that I had. I think back in 2018 I wanted to make her more villainous, but I've been really liking toying with the idea of taking like things that seem obviously evil and then making them not so evil in this world. That's why I'm kind of leaning on the undead a lot, both as an enemy and maybe more. So yeah, I had some fun with that moment. The players were like, I guess they could just let her stay here.
Drider, that's what it is. It's like a spoof on a Drider. Instead of it being a spider, it's a scorpion.
Yeah.
So it's like
I was if a combat started, I did have some Drider stats I had modified for like
I see.
claws
so
as well.
What it would be like Drider, Scorpion, Drypian.
Drypian.
She's a Drypian.
yeah, basically she's a Drypian.
Alright, folks, if you know what it is, put it in the comments. What do you think of this?
Yeah, half person, half scorpion. What should it be?
Yeah.
What should that be called? So yeah, that was fun. They rested up. The bard helped them get some free rooms. The next day, they were returning back to the city because they were going to travel back to the mainland and return to the actual quest for the Crown of Dragons, and hopefully not get distracted. I was going to distract them.
You're 100% like, you mean you're on the main plot? Do you mean there's an ice cream stand on fire? Oh no!
Oh no!
The ice cream is melting. Eat as much as you can.
Look, I gotta wrap up all these side quests. I gotta snip off all these threads.
You keep snipping off the threads. You're just gonna unravel some more. That's what you do, Calvin.
Maybe I put too many. And now that I'm a better DM than I was several years ago, I want to be like, okay, let's focus up a bit here.
let's put an end to some of these. Plus, they didn't even get their Monster Energy drink sponsor.
They have not yet. Look, if they go to, actually, if they go to Tiriane, which is like a major city dedicated to Abadar. We actually, I think our last Quest of the Fate Seer session was you getting to Tiriane. So if they go there, that's where the center of the business is. They can get the sponsorship there.
Oh man, like if anyone from that game is listening, as a fan, do it.
I mean, it's out there.
I want it so bad. I just like, oh man, I'm a big fan of Talladega Nights, and I love it when he like sold his windscreen. He's like windscreen to Wonder Bread. And I just want that. I just want like them to be randomly killing a monster, and it's like crack open a cold one. It's like Monster Energy. Like they have to say it. Like,
of course.
Oh man, okay, cool. Yes, I'm into it. It has to be like Berry Blast. Yeah, like every time they take a potion. And,
yeah.
That's what I want.
They gotta do a pose.
Yeah, they have to do a pose. Yeah. But I'm just a humble person on the internet. What do I know?
Of course. But yeah, they headed back to the city so they could get back to the mainland. On the way back, they did see those kids again. And they saw the one kid who was just, like, at this point, just sitting off on their own, just watching the others bitterly. So the fighter, who has such a great backstory, in my opinion. I mean, they all do, but because this is just, like, a really great moment for him. He just stopped and he helped teach this kid how to fight. He had this really great line that I want to repeat, but I don't know if it'll spoil things.
Or,
I don't know if it'll
okay.
hint at too much. I guess it'll be pretty vague. I mean, the players heard it, so. But like he told this kid he was a knight, and then when they were finished, like one of the other characters, the druid, had asked, "Are you really a knight?" And then he said, "No, of course not. Do I look like one?" And look, that's gonna become really important later. God, it was so goddamn clever. I just have to give him props for that.
Do I look like one? Too funny.
Oh man.
But is he though, or isn't he? I don't know. I'm confused. I want him to be, maybe. I don't know. Damn it, Calvin. I'm telling you. It's my Game of Thrones. I want to know what's going on with these guys. Who are these people?
And I tried to keep it off my face because like we've been playing with webcams, which was really good for a couple of reveals that I had later. Especially that Lady Vermez one. I did have to stop and make sure I was looking at everyone's face when I said it instead of looking at Roll20.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see all their reactions, and I was like, yeah, exactly what I wanted.
Oh, man, webcams would be kind of fun to play online. I tend to keep it off because I feel like there's so much stuff going on that I have to keep track of. So like I don't want to also just be like staring at like the screen.
Fair. I think what helped me get used to it is that being on the USP streams, because they always have the webcam. I got kind of used to it, and it's almost like playing in a room with people. Not exactly, but you do get to see someone's face, which I didn't realize I missed so much.
Sure.
But yeah, so they got back to the city. They did have to share a carriage briefly with a couple other adventurers who were in the middle of arguing. One was like, it seemed one did not have the feat precise shot. Well, actually, no, that's how it works in Pathfinder 1, but it seemed the source of their argument was that one had gotten in the way of the other's arrow shot, and they were both blaming each other for it.
Wow, okay.
So, just another thing that's just going on.
That must have been a fun, like, oh, we've come so far moments for the party.
I should hope so.
Yeah.
So yeah, they finished up. They went back to the city on the coast. This was where that one party member had left the team and become an NPC out in the world after their brief scuffle with the party. They did find that the person who was sort of part of the spark that set that fire off wasn't doing so hot either. So there was a bit of satisfaction there. But yeah, they managed to get a ship, and it was the same ship that had brought them, the Mermaid's Dagger, captained by Helen Highwater.
Helen Highwater, yes.
Yeah, she's back.
Our friend. Oh man, I miss Helen. I wish Helen was in my game.
Oh well, Ramon, I've got a week-long boat trip to tell you about.
Oh my god. Hooray!
Because
yes.
Again, I've measured everything out. You know what? Sometimes I feel like my map scale is like weird because every square is like a day away from the other. But I don't know. At the same time, like I don't know what it should be, so I try not to worry about it too much.
Yeah, your roll just big. That's it.
Yeah, that's just how it is. So yeah, they ended up having to do a 7-day boat ride to get from this island back to the mainland. And they just did some stuff. So, one thing they did was just talking to the crew, and they saw the crew, like Helen specifically told them not to go into the cargo hold, which meant, of course, they were going to go into the cargo hold.
Right.
So, like, the second day at nightfall, they snuck down there, they did some stealth, they managed to get around Crow.
Oh, wow, okay.
Incredibly. Crow being one of the shipmates. So yeah, they managed to get down there. They searched through the cargo, and Ramon, guess what they found?
No, I don't know. What did they find?
That glowing box that was supposed to be in Walter's loot.
Oh, Helen! How did you get it?
Don't worry about that.
Oh my god.
So yeah, they searched through and they found, hidden within a crate to keep the glow down, they found that box with a golden power source glowing within it. It was like extremely bright. They had to like do a quick fortitude save just to not be blinded for a moment. But yeah, so Helen has the box. So the next day, they did end up coming across something else. They saw a ship adrift in the water. Going over to investigate, they were unfortunately attacked by some gray oozes.
Wait, what?
Bit of a hectic
that were
battle.
on the ship? So wait, there's another ship that was just full of gray oozes?
Yeah, the ship was like broken and adrift in the water. So they just stopped to like investigate, see if anyone's alive on it, see if there's anything useful on it. They did eventually discover that the ship was being used to transport goods and creatures, and there was like a note about like the how efficient it would be to transport oozes in crates that apparently never got answered.
Right, okay.
But they did find some cool loot on there, and they were able to get enough XP to get to the next level. I was just like, I had a couple of different battle ideas to throw at them, so I did have them roll like as part of their random encounter stuff, like which one I should choose, and it was like the oozes.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, we'll put the oozes on a boat. So it ended up being like this like battle on a boat and stuff like that, and the oozes were pretty strong. They are really good at grabbing people. So again, got kind of hairy there, but they're pretty good at like combat, which is a bit stressful for me. I think they're all like better strategists than I am.
Oh, Calvin, I mean, do we gotta work on that? So you
I think I do. I think I need some like DM combat strategy practice, because I can just aim a bigger gun at them, but if they're better shots than me, then it's at some point it's not gonna matter.
Yeah, and it's
like I can put a big old thing in front of them if I wanted to, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and some fights are supposed to just be like, look how awesome you are, good job, right? It's not always have to be like, oh man, everyone's gonna die all the time. I mean, even though that's what I try to do, but it's like, don't be me.
Well, I'm planning one of those. That's maybe what the next session is gonna be. So, but anyway, so yeah, so that was the first few days on the ship. They did eventually. They were talking to Helen, and they were able to, with the use of some elven absinthe that they found on the ship, they were able to get her to loosen up a bit. She admitted that she got the loot from Walter, as she was supposed to transport it, but then he got arrested by someone who knows who.
Oh my god, this happens. So this is the second time this happened with Helen, because that's how Helen actually got introduced in the pirate campaign. It was like literally like she was meant to transport this criminal stuff, and then he just never showed up. So she's like, well, I guess this is mine now.
Yeah. Is Lance really a criminal though?
I mean, he
sort of.
counterfeits.
He does make for you. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely a criminal, but like, you know, he's not good at it. Like,
yeah, Helen's always getting caught up in something.
Oh man.
So yeah, like she revealed her plan was basically she'll hang on to it because like she knows Walter One-Eye's reputation, so she's like, well, if he breaks out of jail, then I'll have it for him, but if he's not out within a certain time frame, I'll just sell it to the highest bidder. She was like confident he'll probably escape. If not, then I'll do something else with it, but no one knows I have it right now.
Yeah, interesting.
And that's when they got to crack it on a plan, because they didn't want the box to fall into the wrong hands. It seemed pretty clear that the pirate crew didn't know fully what it was, just that it was something valuable. So the party was going to try to get it out of there. So over the next few days, they made a plan, and on the last day before they arrived, they struck. Again, it took some distracting of some people. I think it was Jasper and Crow at the time. And then a couple of them stuck to the cargo hold. They had to do some thievery checks, of course, but they also made a fake box from some scrap wood and some paint that was lying around.
Okay.
So I had them roll a crafting check for that, with a fairly high DC, because they're trying to make a fake metal box that glows out of like paint and wood.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I don't know how you're gonna, you know, spoof that, but all right, cool.
Yeah, so at that point it was like, you can roll the check. Like, it's gonna be very difficult to do, but you can go for it. So there was a couple of things I wanted to squeeze in at the end of that session because it was getting really late. So they did that, and then I got the numbers for that, and I made notes of them because I'm gonna have to make the pirates do some of their own checks. But when they arrived back in the city, and this was another moment where I was glad I had everyone on camera, they saw someone pacing around on the docks, and there was only one character it was familiar to because there's only one person from the OG party at this point. But
okay.
They saw a character by the name of Anina, who was played by another person way back in like, I think she only played for a few sessions until she kind of felt like it wasn't really for her.
Okay.
One of the other players' girlfriends, but the character was still out there. And then yeah, I've had a couple of players at this point who had been in the game briefly and then dropped out, but their characters are still there. And I don't know, I just like bringing old stuff up, clearly, if I'm leaning on things from like session 2. So yeah, I had this moment where
you haven't even gotten out of session 2.
Nope.
20 sessions in, you're like, damn it, I need to go back to session 1. There's so many things, like, so many seeds I planted. I just grab a fistful and just toss it into the wind, and I go find
exactly.
it all.
I don't know. It's my favorite kind of thing. Callbacks to stuff. So yeah, I did bring that character back, and I gave her a whole new backstory and stuff, and I'm really excited because there was a bit of drama involved in that. As we get into the last session that I ran, session 21, which I gotta say, really happy with the fact that we're breaking the 20s on our sessions. We're almost at 24 sessions now. Which is, I don't know,
you guys
just
are
really
nuts.
happy about it.
I don't know how anyone runs something for that long. It like never happens. Unless we're like playing like an adventure path or something. It's like, for me, like I've never ran a game campaign for that long. It just feels like something always gets in the way, or we start something new.
Yeah, I think what's helped is, at least recently what's helped is that we've been playing on a regular schedule. Because before it was just like whenever we could, and it was like once in a while sort of thing, very rarely sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too bad to just be like, I don't know, what did we do before, and then bring it back up. I didn't really feel like too much of an urge to start something new. But now that we've been playing regularly, I mean, I don't know. This is the kind of thing that I would have always wanted to run, and now I get to run it, so it's exactly what I want.
Nice.
It also helps to have like that setting pre-made, I think. Like coming in with like a setting that I've made and then being able to just hop back into somewhere else in it. But yeah, so now we get into session 21. So I did have the pirates roll some perception checks using pirate NPC stats. I gotta say, so the die that I used, because I wanted to roll a physical die for it, because I rarely get to do that anymore. The die that I used for it is the one that I used for Helen, and the one that I used for her ancestor Hirgen. Kind of reminded me why those characters have such bad luck.
Because the dice. The dice have the luck. It's just you keep assigning it to this character.
Basically. Yeah, I'm not gonna say what they rolled, but
It was on the lower end, probably.
Significantly, yes.
Oh.
As if they can't roll over a 10. Anyway. So yeah, as they were getting off, Davis seemed a bit suspicious, but he was quickly sent off by the bard. So yeah, they went and they met Anina, who, you know, I had her because, I honestly didn't even think of this, but then it just seemed really funny, so I let it happen. But she seemed excited to see that one character who was part of the original party as they caught up. She just, like, you know, greeted the other ones warmly enough, but she seemed especially suspicious of the fighter for some reason. And the original player for the character is that fighter player's girlfriend, which I didn't intentionally set that up. I'll be honest, I didn't do that intentionally. It was just because, like, she's a human, so maybe she's from this place, and maybe this is her history.
Yeah.
But because they were from similar places now, it was like, I don't know, she just gave him a look at the time. And maybe it got more dramatic later. It definitely got more dramatic later.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah, so they caught up. And Anina, she learned like what happened to all the previous members of the party, how they all got killed dramatically and unintentionally.
Yeah.
And then the druid learned of what happened to that other player character who was just off in the world now. And again, it's another thing that like there's several things that I have that like I know where they are and what's going on with them and what sort of situation they might be in certain time frames. That I'll probably like when like if they go to those areas, then I can use those things. That's probably gonna also help me run this game like forever. Is that I'll be like, I don't know, they might go to this city. Do I have anything? Oh, I do have something here. And then I'll just like pull that cord and see where it ends up. But so yeah, they went to a tavern. They were just chatting. They did actually. This is something I almost missed. They did pick up their horse that they had left in a stable for like several weeks, and I kind of wish stabling prices were more expensive in Pathfinder 2e. I should have just made them more expensive.
Oh,
so I was like, oh man, I was really hoping
like
you'd have like a
one
big
gold
bill when you came
piece. It's like
basically.
1 gold piece.
Because it's measured by a number of copper per day. So it's
Oh,
like,
okay,
it's
yeah.
nothing. Barely anything.
I mean, like, I'm surprised they didn't just get another horse, but I guess, like, stabling is so cheap. Once you have one, it's like, here, just hold this.
Well, they got attached to their horse. And of course, now they have a talk to animals spell, so...
Nice.
But what they got to do while they were there is, again, that other player character who left the party, who had that big confrontation with them. I've been tracking him. Like, I know where he is at any given day.
What? Okay.
I'm paranoid like that. So yeah, so they came through, and they learned that he had come through as well because he also had a horse there. So he picked up his stuff and left in a hurry. And again, like I know what he's up to. I know where he's going and what he's gonna do when he gets there. And it's just again gonna be another thing that I can just like set off when the time is right.
Interesting. Like all of the math you pull off in the background is ridiculous.
Oh man, it is. I mean, it is. I just like I know I don't have to. Like again, like way back when Alina showed up again in our Quest of the Fateseer game, and I had to figure out like her exact travel before that. It was like I know I don't have to, but if I don't do it, it's gonna bother me. There's things that I can just like skip over, but like something like that is just I don't know. It would bother me if I didn't figure it out.
True.
So yeah, so he's off doing his own thing. They caught up with Anina, who revealed that she had some relations to some certain members of high society. And then again, looking suspiciously at this fighter character. But more importantly, what she had seen was the wyvern that had killed our barbarian way back when. 14, I think it was. I don't know.
Oh shit! All right. So yeah, King Wyvern, right? King of the Gnolls.
Yes,
the Gnolls.
The
Kobolds.
Dragon King, the wyvern who pretended to be a dragon and managed to convince these kobolds. So, again, tying it back into stuff that happened before, she explained that because oh my gosh, I have to explain things that happened like years ago. But part of what they had done while they were in that small town dealing with that plague was also help cleared out a cave full of kobolds. And they were apparently in the middle of doing some ritual. So she explained that it seemed that the wyvern had recovered like a very similar ritual to them. There was some connection there. And it seemed like a ritual that would increase the wyvern's power to the point where he could actually be as powerful as a dragon. She described an attempt to rescue some hostages that the kobolds had taken. She was like a moment too late and they had killed the hostages, and then the hostages like life energy leaked into this wyvern Kaivanth, and then for the briefest moment he was able to like shoot lightning from his mouth.
Ooh, okay.
And then he was like much larger, stronger, had horns and claws and everything. Like full dragon power, basically.
Wow. Okay, cool. Interesting. All right.
So yeah, they
they gotta go deal with that guy. He's getting a little too strong.
So that was essentially like why she was there. She was actually waiting for those two adventurers who were arguing way back before. She was waiting for them to show up for backup so she could go take care of this thing. But I guess this party arrived first. So yeah.
Okay.
So that was going to be their thing for now, and that's the boss character I got to work on.
Ah, I see. So I mean, I feel like you could. I guess not. I was gonna say you could just use a blue dragon, but I guess there might still be 2 underlevel to actually fight like a young blue dragon stats.
I do have. I don't know. I have a thing. I'm not gonna say what it is, at least not on air. I can tell you afterwards if you want to know. But I do have stats for it, so don't you worry about it.
Okay. I mean, I'm also looking forward to hear it's Calvin say. So you know that thing I made? It might have been too strong.
Well, I gave them a warning this time.
Well, you know, at least your sessions are so regular that you get a couple games in before you annihilate a PC. Like they get to know them and love them and have their hopes and dreams and just dashed across.
And then I annihilate them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want that to happen again because, like, I really like everyone's characters right now. Even like all the situations they're in, I really like everyone's characters. I don't want anything bad to happen to them. But you know, stuff happens.
Yeah.
Inevitably and inexorably, stuff will happen.
Can't stop those crits from flowing. Sometimes rolling too hot one night, somebody's gonna end up in the ground.
Yep, that's basically it. So yeah, they because I gave them that warning, they stopped and did some shopping in town, just to like stock up on supplies and everything. They did have a bit of downtime, because one person was waiting on some upgrades for their armor, so they had like a bit of downtime, just to deal with that. And then while doing that, they just did some like random stuff to earn some coin. So the bard was doing like performances. The fighter, who also had skills in genealogy, was like helping out in the city records. Our witch was trying to do dream interpretations but rolled a crit fail, so those did not work out in her favor at all. And the druid, they were just going to check up on like an orphanage they had saved while they were there, because they're heroes, so they save orphanages.
Yeah.
They saw it was doing really well, but at the time, Nina had apparently been following them, and gave them like a warning, specifically saying to ask the fighter about a person named Lord Randiel, who had been a previous lord of the region they had spent many of the first few sessions in.
Okay. Ooh,
so
all right.
I don't know.
Spicing up.
Who knows?
Heating up. What's happening with that? Okay.
Oh, I sure don't know.
Get out.
I do know. So yeah, so she gave that warning, and then the downtime ended. They got the armor, and they headed off. So one thing I did was just some random events. They found some berries, just a random event. But another random event that happened, because I've sort of like modified the thing a bit, the table a bit, to just be like, here's a big section that's all kobolds. And some kobolds showed up in the middle of the night. It was like a fairly small scouting party. They were pretty easily able to take care of it. Although, what was pretty funny about that moment was it was during the druid character's watch, and she did not wake the party, like you're supposed to do when you're the one on watch and something happens.
Yeah, so she, 1v10 like a bunch of kobolds?
Yeah, she was on her own for a bit. Because I don't know, I didn't want to say anything, because I just wanted to see how it would play out, and then she didn't, like, specifically wake people. So I was like, yeah, no, everyone else is asleep. It was fun for me. I don't know. I gotta have my fun sometimes, too. So yeah, they all woke up. One person, the bard, they didn't stand from prone. They just like crawled over and did their stuff, which is pretty funny too. But they were able to capture one of the kobolds and do some interrogation. They discovered that some people were being held hostage nearby, and that was going to be their mission for the next day. They also discussed, like, because they did, like, when they were there, they did come across one kobold who, like, knew Kyvanth the Wyvern wasn't a true dragon. And the kobold was, like, fairly decent as a person. So they were just baiting some sort of, like, kobold rehab kind of situation. Which, who knows, maybe. That would be neat if they could pull that off. I don't know how they'll do it.
Just send them to the orphanage. They'll figure them out.
I guess. Get the kobolds to work at the orphanage. So yeah, we ended the session with them arriving where the hostages were being held. They saw some kobold scouts. They saw a kobold mage who was controlling this big giant beetle, and he was using the beetle to sort of like keep the hostages scared and cornered and stuff like that. And that was where we wrapped up. So yeah, plan for next is probably just to finish that fight and hopefully get to Kyvanth to kill off that wyvern as personal revenge for me for killing the barbarian accidentally.
Hopefully they take vengeance on you, Calvin.
Look, I feel bad, so I gotta take it out on Kyvanth. Who is still going to be pretty damn powerful, but yeah, that was those were those 3 sessions of the Crown of Dragons campaign. Well, so, again, I just really like how these players always keep me on my toes. That's why I like planning like some intricate stuff to throw at them, because as much as it's something I like, I feel like they respond really well to it. So yeah. I don't know, like it's like running tabletop games is a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of like, you as the person running the game, you put something out there, and then your players, they respond to it in a certain way, and then you respond to them, and there's this continuous like pushing and pulling back and forth energy that I just really love about it. And yeah, like every group is unique in how that goes about and how that energy happens. But I don't know. I have a lot of fun with this group. I have a lot of fun looking at old notes and being like, oh, old Calvin. And then like, but what can I do with this? And then how can I throw it at them?
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes fun stories I get to hear on the podcast for sure. You know, again, like I'm hoping that we can at least get to 1 dragon orb before you get 100.
We're never getting those orbs.
So, yeah, they'll never assemble the Draco Corona.
I should say, like, I have the things that are at those locations planned out. Like, I know where the orbs are, okay. And I have all those planned out, because, like, every time I hear, like, some really cool, unique creature, I'm like, that would be an awesome boss fight. I'm just gonna slip this in over here. So, I know what's there. It'll be really fun when we get there. I don't know when that'll happen. I don't know. We gotta kill this wyvern.
Oh man, every time I hear about D&D stories, it makes me pumped to run a session. I'm like, I gotta go do it. Like,
that's the point.
I gotta go work on, you know, freaking pirate campaign. Hopefully we're able to get together eventually. If, you know, this silly thing gets over soon.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Would be nice.
That's the point of the recaps, though, is to hopefully get that fire burning under some people.
Oh yes, it'd be fun.
Who hear these and they want to do their own stories. Yeah, I'm really excited for whatever we do next, because like they have the option of just moving on from this thing. I don't know if they would have, but like the whole Crown of Dragons thing is itself kind of time sensitive, but so is this. So yeah, man, yeah. I want to make a big table now for Lancer. That's kind of what I want to do, because your table, every time you talk about it, I'm like, oh, it'd be nice to have like a huge table of just random stuff that could happen. How would that work for Lancer? Because we don't like explore as much. Like we usually get a mission and then we go there and we kick some ass, but there's less sort of like how would a random encounter work in Lancer? Well, I don't think it would work for Lancer specifically for missions. I think it would work for downtime events, like because you guys are just like on the station, right? Like cool stuff. Like let's say like you're going to the
the North Star office, and like on the way you roll on the table to see, I don't know, what random spaceship stuff happens to you on the way, or sci-fi stuff or whatever, right? I mean, you could do it. I mean, so you could also have a random table for like if your Lancer setting is set on like a planet specifically, or in one region, like it could just be like, here's some weird space phenomenon, or hey, here's what some weird politicalness that's happening. Like, you know, it wouldn't be one chart, it would have to be multiple charts of different stuff, but just kind of like figuring that stuff out and putting it on a table would be kind of cool. Also, like, I had the idea of like making a bunch of quirky mercenaries that, like, you know, they don't actually work together, but like you just like, okay, you have to fight 5 dudes, and you roll on the table and you roll 5 dudes up, and you're like, oh, okay, let's see if this works. Like, maybe that might be kind of cool too, but I just have these ideas too. I'll see if they work out.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
I can just stop.
I do like the downtime stuff in Lancer, because I like how RP stuff in Lancer works, but yeah, just like a random thing that you don't have control of might happen, because usually Lancer, at least for us so far, it's been a lot of like, well, I want to do this thing, so here's how that turns out. But, you know, real life isn't always just, I want to do this thing. It's, I want to do this thing. And, oh no, some random thing has happened to me today.
Right, yeah, it could just be like the random thing that happened to you today generator. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll make that a thing. But yeah, no, it's cool. Also, like, I'm like heavily... You're basically, your character's basically a NASCAR driver for North Star now. Yep. Like, if you keep this up, like, they're gonna want you to start putting like their label, like the North Star label on your thing, and you may not be able to choose something from another competitor if you're gonna stick with this, but I'm not too sure yet. We'll see.
No. See, like my character for Lancer, she is very much my original idea for her was very much like the grungy mechanic type. Like, her hands were perpetually never clean, but now that she's becoming this internet superstar, I don't know, there's some internal conflict with her.
Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, I mean, I want to see it happen. I want to see the big blow up. It'd be good.
Yeah, I don't know what the thing is gonna be that will push her limits, that'll push her buttons too far. But it'll be something.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, we'll see in the next Lancer downtime. But we gotta push on through to finish this mission first that we're on right now.
Yeah, and if you want to see that, be sure to check out the Lancer playlist.
Yeah, really good one. They fought a boat. I mean, they're still in the process of fighting
several boats.
Several boats, yeah. I have like a whole thing. I think once this mission is over, I want to do like a deep dive a little bit on where I felt I made a mistake.
Ooh. Well, that could be a good podcast episode.
Yeah, like, definitely. Look forward to that coming in a few weeks, for sure.
Yeah, we'll have that episode coming up. So yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else that you want to ask about Crown of Dragons that's not spoiler stuff?
No, I don't.
Because I feel like I realized I talked about it like for a whole hour, but I don't know. I really like it.
Yeah, I had to catch up, Calvin. I'm a humble fan. I need to know what's going on. No, it sounds good. It sounds like your players are having lots of fun. I'm glad that they saw Helen again. Helen's always a treat. The whole crew's a treat. So, you know, I like it. I like that she's just like, you know, criminal adjacent all the time.
Yes.
Like,
yes. Oh man, I don't know what to. Well, I mean, I know what I want to do with her, but like, I don't know. I like having these things out there sometimes. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of in. How do I put this? Some certain things I would like to wrap up so we can focus on the crown stuff, but some certain things, like Helen just being out there, I like, because I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know when they'll ever be back there or when they might run into her again. But I mean, there's gonna be consequences for their actions, as always. And they are carrying this box around with them now that they have hidden in their bag of holding.
Nice.
So yeah, there's that. There's the notes this character is getting. There's this new NPC being suspicious of another player character. It's just, I don't know. I like the drama. I like the fun.
Yeah, that's what we're here for, man. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up, Calvin.
It kind of does. But yeah, if you want to hear more about that campaign or Lancer games, or we do have to talk about Lost Mine of Phandelver, because that's really, I mean, again, ton of fun to play in. So if you want to hear about any of those things, just be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you know every time we upload a new podcast episode, or when we go live, or when we upload any other kind of video, like that Lancer character creation video we did a couple weeks back. If you want to hear that, then go check it out. It's on our channel, along with all the other like cool vlog stuff we do. Quick shout out, of course, to the Untold Stories Project channel over on Twitch, where I am weekly playing Mutants and Masterminds on Mondays at 7 p.m. EST. We got some new character art in that by the time you're hearing this, it will already have been revealed, so you can go check the episode out either on their Twitch VODs or on the YouTube channel. They have some really cool shows over there. They started playing Blue Rose just last week, I think it was, and they've been playing Monster of the Week, which is a really interesting game. It's sort of like a supernatural kind of thing where they have like a different monster each week to deal with.
Okay.
Like literally, it's like the Monster of the Week concept, like, you know, like the TV show concept, where it's like I think it happened.
Yeah.
I think Buffy was the one that did it, like maybe most noticeably, or X-Files or something like that, where it's just like every episode was this single one-off creature or event to deal with.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's like the vampires, now the vampire's brother, and now it's like the clubhouse of vampires. And there's a werewolf, and the werewolves of vampires are fighting. And then there's a zombie, but no, he's too hot. Now the werewolf's making out with the zombie. What are we gonna do?
basically that. But yeah, that's been fun. That's been fun to watch too. So be sure to go check them out. They got a lot of cool stuff going on there. And I think that's all we have right now for the shoutouts. Because yeah, like I think that's it for the shoutouts for now. I don't know if there's do you think there's anything else we need to cover for the rest of this episode, Ramon? Anyone else we need to mention?
Nah, I don't think it's anyone else, but there's something we definitely should mention.
Oh, okay. Well, what is that?
Calvin, you know what it is.
Oh my gosh, this is my favorite part of the show. Oh man. Well, I'm having a good time here, so if you're also having a good time, I just want to remind you out there, everybody out in the world, to keep on winning with dice. And we'll catch you next week.
All right, see you guys.